What is it?
It's that Billy Bragg one, that one that says the revolution is just a t-shirt away.
Okay.
But much to my shame, I realised just as I was getting ready to get on here that it's the same one I was wearing as last week. Anyway, enough chit chat. Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of Tell Me Where I'm Going Wrong, a podcast where two exes who are now good friends talk about anything under the sun that is of interest to them at that point in time this week. Welcome back. How are you, Sean?
I'm good, thanks, Josh. Yeah, anything under the sun, except there's no sun today in London because it's raining.
No, the sun has shone a few times today. I've seen it a couple of times. The sun's always shining somewhere, Sue.
I love that Aha song.
The sun always shines on TV. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I love that song.
I don't think I understood the meaning as a child.
How would you decipher the meaning now?
Well, the TV often presents a version of reality that is completely disconnected to what most of us know, and that is, that things are always great on TV. I mean, they're not, obviously. There are certain genres of TV where it's not, but often life is depicted in a much simpler, much rosier way, isn't it?
Did you like that band?
I mean, I was indifferent. I like Take On Me. I think that's an amazing song. Sun Always Shines.
It's a classic, isn't it?
It's a classic. But I wasn't that. I wouldn't have called myself a fan or anything.
Well,
You?
I was, but like in passing. Like, obviously, when you're a kid, you kind of like a lot of stuff. And then you become a teenager and then you hyper focus on things.
Yeah, you get a bit more discerning, or you want to belong to a certain subculture or something. But the other thing I was going to say, and it sounds so shallow and so I don't know, like inappropriate, problematic, but I didn't fancy any of the guys in Aha, so that's the only criterion that matters or would have impacted whether I'd call myself a fan of somebody. But
don't you think everyone thought that Morton, the lead singer, was handsome?
I know, and I didn't.
Well, when I used to buy like Smash Hits and TV Hits and all of those pop magazines, he was always in them. There were always posters of him. He was seen as a real heartthrob. But they were, as far as pop bands go and being sort of on the top of the world or the top of the charts, it didn't last very long, did it?
Oh, it was very fleeting. Very fleeting.
That album, do you remember what year their first album came out?
Oh, it would have been like 80, 88, maybe? 87.
85.
85, really?
Yeah.
That early?
Hunting High and Low was the name of the album.
But was that the one with Take On Me?
Yeah.
And presumably you've been doing some live research. You didn't just happen to know this.
Yeah, well, let me have a look. Hunting High and Low is the debut studio album by Norwegian synth pop band Aha, first released on the 1st of June 1985. It was a huge success, commercial success.
Was it huge?
It was huge, mate. And guess where it was recorded? Not far from you.
Oh, was it recorded at the Powerhouse in Chiswick?
No, at the Eel Pie Studios in Twickenham.
Oh, right. Okay. Wow.
And
had they had previous albums, in Norwegian, or had they?
I don't think so. I think
was that their debut album?
Their debut album.
What an incredible album! I don't know many of the songs on the album.
Well,
but what
it's incredible success.
Yeah.
So, "Take On Me" was the second single. I don't know the first single.
What was it called?
It was called "Love Is Reason." I don't know that song at all. No. And then the third single was what we just referred to as "The Sun Always Shines on TV."
Mm-hmm.
And there was another song that I don't know called "Train of Thought." And then the fifth single was, which is also the title of the album, Hunting High and Low.
That wasn't bad.
Yeah, I like that song. I think they had obviously Take On Me is a hyper pop song. Yeah. But I think they had some really atmospheric music.
I often listen to music of all eras, but particularly at the moment, I feel like a lot of music coming out at the moment is such a blatant I mean, I wouldn't even say a nod, like it's just a blatant rip-off. Or, you could say it's people paying homage to
Yeah.
tunes of yesteryear or whatever. But I wish there was a sort of I don't know, like I don't know if it would be a website thing or a little. Maybe they do exist already. Little videos online that take
Clippets.
snippets from songs, and
Yeah.
they say, "Oh, this bit is a direct homage or direct interpolation, if you like, or whatever, of this song."
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
I was on a road trip a couple of years ago with my brother across the US, and he played a song. I did some live research actually. He played a song, and I was like, "This sounds exactly like that Killers song." And I can't remember which Killers song it was now, but if I go into my Shazam account, I'll be able to tell you. And they'd obviously knowingly, you know, referenced it in the way that they recorded that song.
Yeah.
And I just wish there was a way of sort of having access to all that information at the same time.
Well, there is a website that has songs, like lists of songs that have been sampled or interpolated. Like
All
you can
right.
look up songs and it will tell you everything that it's either been sampled in or interpolated in. I forget the name of the website, but I've used it a few times.
Okay.
So it says
Um,
here on this Wikipedia entry that
mhm.
U2 stated that The Sun Always Shines on TV by a-ha heavily influenced the composition of their 2000 single Beautiful Day. Do you know that song, It's a Beautiful Day?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't really hear it now. Like, I mean,
No,
I
I
can't.
can. I can actually.
Oh, you
Yeah.
can?
It's a beautiful day, and it's that dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, the sun always shines on TV. It's a very
Okay. And it
like
says here Bono paid tribute to it by combining the two songs together at a concert in Oslo, Norway in 2005.
ah. I'll never. I mean, this is a bit. What's the word? See, it's a bit not. It's a bit mean. But I was invited to a wedding once in Australia, and the the I didn't go. I didn't think I went to the ceremony. I went to the party afterwards. It was in a hotel thing, and the the bride and groom came into the ballroom of the hotel, whatever, to that song "Beautiful Day" by U2, and it was all sort of choreographed or coordinated. So it would be like "It's a beautiful day," and it's like that dun, 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 and as that the first one went, they like burst through the doors or whatever, and everyone was like throwing glitter, and anyway, it was all just a bit too much for me, Sue. But that's
What's
not
that
for
Edith
here.
Massey quote from, is it from Female Trouble, where she says, the world of the heterosexual is a sick and
Oh yeah, yeah,
what?
yeah, 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 yeah.
I
I
can't
don't know
remember.
what
It's
you
a
mean.
sick and twisted place or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And she says to her son, I'd be so much happier if you was a queer.
in her Baltimore accent.
Yeah. So
That was the
anyway,
song. So anyway, no, just quickly, just while I remember, I
okay,
think the song I think sounds like it was "American Remains" by the Highwaymen, and I
okay.
don't really know the Highwaymen. I don't. It's not a band that has ever really been in my rotation, but there's that song "American Remains" by the Highwaymen. It's very obviously being used as a reference point for the Killers.
Okay. Well,
Anyway.
have you talking of people being influenced? Well, let me finish this story first. Also, the creators of the TV show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia
Mm.
have
Hmm.
stated that the name of their show is an indirect reference to the song as well.
What does that mean? Indirect reference.
Well, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia
Well, yeah, no,
is
I get that it's
a TV show.
yes.
Well, it says here the co-creator came up with the title about after listening to the album at the gym.
Okay.
So
Well, I'd say
he
that's a
was
direct
inspired.
reference, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, well, how do you say something's an indirect reference when it's directly influenced by something? Anyway.
Yeah, possibly. But talking of the Killers and what sounds like them,
Mm-hmm.
have you heard that singer called Sam Fender? Is that
Yeah,
his name?
from Newcastle
Yeah.
or Newcastle, as I should
And
say.
so I know that he states that he's very influenced by Bruce Springsteen,
Right.
which is more clear than anything. But because the Killers are so influenced by Bruce Springsteen, and they kind of sit in the space between Bruce Springsteen and Sam Fender, like they've come in between.
Like chronologically, you mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, Sam Fender, yes, does sound like Bruce Springsteen, but has a real Killers production and sound. So what do you think of Sam Fender's music?
Well, to be honest, I only know one album, which I listened to a few times, and that was the one that he won the was it the Ivor Novello Award for? I think it was his debut album, and it was all right. It didn't do much for me. So I know he's had new music since,
but isn't that weird?
I haven't listened to it.
You and I are both Killers fans, and when I listen to Sam Fender, I think all of the same components are there, but it doesn't affect me the same way, and I don't know why.
It's interesting, isn't it? Like, and often I will listen to the Killers, and I am a fan of the Killers. I love their music, but there's sometimes I kind of like there's like two parts to me, and there's like my logical process driven brain is like, well, this is just schmaltzy Americana, like, but then on a, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, on a soul level or whatever, left brain, right brain, or whatever. I don't even know what the difference is, but
lizard brain,
reptilian brain, mammalian brain. I love it, and I love the music, and it evokes something in me, or no, evokes something in me. Is that the word? It's evocative, and I do love it. But then there's like a sort of my other part of my brain is trying to be like, well, it's just really schmaltzy Americana.
Oh yeah, like I've seen the Killers many times in concert. I mean, we've seen them together in everywhere from Vegas to New York to Sydney to Sheffield, like all over the planet.
Sydney to Sheffield.
Sydney to Sheffield from what's that dance song from? Something to Berlin.
Oh, from Paris to Berlin.
From Paris to
Every
Berlin.
disco I go in or something. Who was that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, doesn't matter.
Oh God, I'm getting my brain, lizard brain. So, sometimes when I see the Killers in concert, I enjoy it, but it's like death by cheese. It's like cheesy and so schmaltzy, like you said. But I'd still love them.
But even though they do that, and they use so much Americana imagery, and I mean, so many songs of theirs have a lyric about the 4th of July and blah blah blah. But I do think that I think Brandon Flowers is a brilliant lyricist, and I think that even though they do it in a really clever way that you kind of know, or well, maybe you don't, because I've never met Brandon Flowers, so I don't actually know. But you kind of get the impression, at least, that he's doing it as a sort of an in-joke kind of way, like he knows.
Well, I don't think it's a joke. I think he knows what he's doing. I think they understand the buttons they're pushing and the devices they're relying on.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Not an in-joke, but they understand that when they talk about America, in this reverential way, they know that it's not, the greatest place on earth, because I mean, they did that whole album, which was about their hometown, right? Or
it's called Hometown, right? Wasn't it?
Is that what it's called? Where they basically the whole album is based around the decline of society and addiction to opioids and stuff like that. Like, it's a really sad, tragic album. And so, that's what I mean.
Sorry, just to rectify, it was called Pressure Machine.
Pressure Machine, yeah.
What's your favorite Killers album?
Oh, I don't know, because I forget about them. They had so many albums, and I forget about them, and then I go back and listen, and I'm like, oh, this isn't made. Like, Sam's Town was an incredible album.
And then sometimes I think, I wasn't into an album, and then I'll put it on and I'll know every track.
Yeah.
Like I was just looking at Wonderful, Wonderful, or Imploding the Mirage.
Oh, Imploding the Mirage is probably my favorite.
Or Battleborn.
Yeah,
Actually, the one that I would say that I wasn't as into is Pressure Machine, because it was it was a little less accessible
Yeah.
as a collection of music. There wasn't like big choruses and that anthemic sort of approach that they had.
No.
But then also outside of that, I don't know if I was super into Day and Age.
That was
With
the one with Human on
Human
it.
and
Yeah.
Spaceman and
Yeah, that wasn't, that to me, it doesn't, it's not one I go back to at all, really.
and it was their third studio album, and I think it wasn't as popular as the first two. It was kind of like they had a step down and then they came back. But
And I don't know. It's impossible to say, isn't it? But I don't think I would like the Killers, or I would be as into the Killers if it wasn't Brandon Flowers as their front man or front person, because I find it so intriguing, the sort of like the paradox of him being a committed Mormon and raised Mormon, and he still adheres to it, and a rock star. I find that such an interesting.
I mean, does he talk about his spirituality or his religion or his adherence to it?
Yeah. I mean, he's spoken. As much as I say I'm a Killers fan, it's not like I've read every interview or everything, but I have read a couple of interviews with him over the years where he's talked about it, and that he's struggled with, particularly I think after the release of that first album, he struggled a lot with addiction issues, which obviously any substance goes against the Mormon church teachings or whatever.
How do you think somebody like him reconciles his religious upbringing and the teachings with navigating a world with queer people, for instance? Like,
I know, yeah, that's what I mean. That's why I find it such an interesting paradox. Yeah, and I don't think that he's anti-queer by any means.
Yeah. Well,
he's,
who knows? He could be, but he might just never say it.
Yeah, but he's had queer people on his albums, as like guest performers and stuff like that.
Like who?
And I knew you were going to ask me that. I can't think of off the top of my head, but
well, didn't they do a song with Lou Reed? But I don't know if Lou Reed identifies as queer. But back in the early days, he was ambiguous, and
yeah,
I'm sure that he is admitted to having sexual relationships with same-gender people. But I don't know who else. I mean, you couldn't get queerer than when Brandon Flowers performed live with the Pet Shop Boys and Lady Gaga.
Oh, sorry, I just remembered who I was thinking. Oh yeah, Pet Shop Boys and Lady Gaga. There you go. But also K.D. Lang. K.D. Lang's on the Imploding the Mirage album. That's one of my favorite songs.
Is she? What song is that?
That Lightning Fields of Lightning in the Lightning Fields of Love. That's what it's called.
Okay,
which is an incredible song.
Do you remember that time when we saw the Killers in Brisbane? And there's this thing, if somebody hasn't been to Brisbane, often when you go to a concert, a large concert, the crowds are really lackluster. They don't have a lot of energy. I don't know what it is about Brisbane.
Well, sorry, which venue did we see them at in Brisbane? I can't remember.
The entertainment centre in Boondall.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
And so anyway, like it was the same venue where we saw Gwen Stefani on her Sweet Escape tour. And it was a similar problem where the crowd is so flat.
Yeah.
So I can remember at the Gwen Stefani one, she was singing Orange County Girl, and she was trying to get the crowd to sing callbacks, like call and response.
Yeah.
And there was just zero response coming from the crowd, like nothing. And she was like looking around at her band and laughing and just shrugging. And then when we went to see the Killers there, now I'm not saying that this is every concert in Brisbane. I've been at concerts in Brisbane where people are going wild, like when I saw Nirvana or Alanis or Salt and Pepper or Prince or Madonna, like, people. But for some reason, there is maybe more recent concerts where all these drongos are just kind of
drongos. Such an Australianism.
Yeah.
What is a drongo like in its literal meaning? What's a drongo? Isn't it an animal?
No, but
isn't drongo like a Anyway,
live research. But
is
anyway,
it like a what do you call a word?
oh
Like
yeah, a
a
drongo is a member of a bird family.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it must. So drongo, it's Australian slang to describe a foolish or inept person. Someone similar to calling someone an idiot or a simpleton. Like, say, you're such
Yeah.
a drongo.
Oh, he's a real drongo.
Or,
They used
so
to use
anyway,
it on Home and Away all the time.
oh yeah. So we were at this gig at the Killers gig, and they had already played Mr. Brightside, and the crowd, it was the one song where people were like, ooh, and got excited. Like they came out of their drongoness and,
Drongoism.
yeah, drongonicity. And, but then they did a couple more songs, and the energy of the crowd was just like going down and down and down. And they started whatever the biggest current single was off the current album, they started doing it as the final song. And about a third of the way into it, the crowd was so dead and so flat that Brandon stopped the band and he said, okay, we can't let people go out of here with this energy. We're just going to do Mr. Brightside again. And it was so embarrassing that they had to do Mr. Brightside again. And all the crowd, so stupid. Like all these drongos were like, oh yeah, we want to hear this song that we just heard.
Yeah.
Because we're such, and so it was quite embarrassing. But what was one of your favorite Killers gigs then?
I mean that one. The first time we ever saw them in Las Vegas when Tegan and Sarah opened at was it the Hard Rock? I think it was at the Hard Rock, wasn't it? Hard Rock Hotel or Casino, whatever.
Yeah.
That was incredible. But then we saw them not long after that. We saw them at Madison Square Garden, and it was the Sam's Town.
Yeah, we didn't see them at Madison Square Garden. We saw them at
no, we did see them at Madison. 100%.
1000%. We did not see them. The only time we saw them in New York, maybe you went, but the only time we saw them was at Webster Hall. And it was like special fan club ticket only.
Do you know what? I clearly remember, and I don't know if it still is out there. Listen, let me finish.
Right.
I don't know if it's out there still in the cyberspace.
Yeah.
But I clearly remember we went to see them at Madison Square Garden. That's the only time I've ever been to a gig at Madison Square Garden.
Right.
And you wrote a blog on your MySpace when you were blogging as Shaun of the Dead or whatever on MySpace.
My God.
You wrote a blog about the gig and you said, did I have a quote for it? Or did I have anything to say about it for your blog? And I remember clearly I said, yes, seeing them do that performance, I was so jealous of them, because they were so incredible, and you put that in the blog. So anyway, I 100% know that we saw them at Madison Square Garden.
1000%. I need you to bring the receipts, because
I need you to pronounce that word properly.
No, it's a joke. It's
what's that? It's too meta for me. I didn't get it.
Yeah, it's the way some people online say it. It's funny. Anyway,
sorry, I'm not down with the kids.
But if you've got the receipts to prove that we saw them, but the only time that I've seen them in New York was at a fan club only show at Webster Hall, where we also saw another show where Blink-182 played.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, no, not Blink-182, Good Charlotte.
Yeah, I didn't go to the Good Charlotte one. You went to the Good Charlotte one on your own.
So, but that one was the only time.
That's where we saw Ash. We saw Ash there as well at Webster Hall, didn't we?
No. We saw them in a smaller venue. It's off the Bowery somewhere. And it was with, another band. It was a smaller venue.
Oh. What was Webster Hall? I don't know. I can't think of Webster Hall.
A big hall with I don't know how to describe it. But
anyway, yeah. I mean, I know 100% know that we went to Madison Square Garden together.
That's not true. I can tell you.
And it was the Sam's Town tour.
No, I've never been into Madison Square Garden
in my life. Yes, you have.
Never. Okay. You've got misremembrance. You're Danny Minogue disremembrance.
No. Danny I was at a pub quiz last night, and they had like a round where they had 3 famous people, and they just played audio clips of them talking, and you had to see if you could identify them from the accent, and one of them was Danny Minogue, and I knew straight away. I was like, that's Danny. And I
Yeah,
was like, I wasn't writing the answers. Someone else on the team, they wrote DANI, and I was like, sorry, you're gonna have to change it. Double N, double I,
double N, double I. What was
just in
she
case.
saying?
She was, I can't remember. I think she was talking about being compared to her sister or something. So
Oh,
I mean,
well,
it
see,
wouldn't have
that's a
been,
giveaway, right?
yeah, it wouldn't have been hard. But like before she even spoke about that, I was like, that's Danny Minogue, 100%. Like,
Um, Talking about Americana and that kind of use of that imagery in music, somebody who, like, I think the Killers do it really well, but somebody who steps over the line of good taste with it, I think, is Lana Del Rey.
yeah,
Uh, I
yeah,
really enjoy some of her music, but some of it is so cliche ridden. Um,
yeah, yeah.
it's almost like unlistenable. But then
Mm.
when she does hit that right spot with it,
Yeah, when
it's
she gets
great.
it right, it's amazing.
And talking about other American musicians, a band that I've never seen live, but you have seen them live, is the Chicks, who are
Mm.
formerly known as
The Dixie
Dixie
Chicks.
Chicks.
Mm.
Um, have you read that they are their music is being used in a jukebox musical?
No, I didn't know that. In the States?
Yeah, I think it's starting in the US, and obviously, if it's successful, it'll go around the world. But they have a song, well, you'll know, but for the listener's sake, they have a song called Goodbye Earl.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to explain to people what Goodbye Earl is?
It's a song about domestic violence, about a woman who's married to a man who abuses her and is violent towards her, and plotting with her friends to kill him, basically. But it's all very, I mean, it's a serious topic, but it's done in a very comedic fashion. And they didn't write that; that was written by someone else. But it's one of their sort of, it was one of their breakthrough songs, I
And
suppose.
it's a real rollicking sort of country, almost rocky country,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
like not bluegrass, but there's real rollicking.
Yep.
There's probably banjos in the mix, and
Oh,
and then
100%.
and
Yeah.
then yeah, the catch of the song is Earl's got to die,
Yeah.
and so I think the show is going to be called either Goodbye Earl or so they're taking the story of that song
Hmm.
and they're creating it into like a book, like a play,
Hmm.
which they're then going to use the songs of the Dixie Chicks. So that song is the main song, one of the main
Okay.
songs, and then they're going to use the music of the Chicks to populate the show and to
Mm.
fit the story that they write. Very similarly that they did with Alanis, that Jagged Little Pill
Hmm.
um, musical.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about that sort of stuff? Do you think that's a lazy approach to writing a musical?
I, I don't think it's lazy necessarily. I mean, it's formulaic and it's not. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like I think, well, first of all, like picking that song to base the whole thing around when it's a problematic theme and it's not a song that they wrote in the first place. I don't know how they feel about that song. I mean, they still perform it live, but I think they have to because it was one of their biggest songs of all time in their career. But it does seem a bit second rate, maybe, to do that. It's like I didn't talk about it on last week's episode actually, even though we'd mentioned it a couple of weeks ago on the podcast. I went to see the new Jurassic World film,
Yeah.
and it was the biggest pile of steaming shit that I've ever seen. Like it was
How would
so
you like? You made me watch that other one
yeah,
last year.
Jurassic World. Hmm.
How does it rate to that?
Well, I mean, depends how you're looking
Compare,
at
I
it.
mean,
Like
rate.
if you're looking at the sort of problematic nature of things, like we did with Jurassic World, it's nowhere near as bad in that sense. It's still pretty fucking bad, but it's not as bad as that. But if you're looking at it just from a sort of high level, like is it a good blockbuster film? No,
Yeah.
it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. It's so incredibly boring. It's so badly scripted. It's just so dull. And so the reason I talk about that is I just feel like it's the same way when they do a jukebox musical like that, and they're like, okay, we have to use these songs but fit them into some sort of narrative. It's
Yeah.
just formulaic. It's like paint by numbers. There's no real soul in it. You know, there's no story really. It's just like
What jukebox musicals have you seen?
um
Oh, well, you saw the Dolly one, right?
yeah, but it wasn't.
But wasn't it all Dolly Parton songs?
It was, but actually I thought that was really well done. They crafted this story about a guy in I think in Yorkshire who moves home with his parents during COVID, and um, sort of has this world of fantasy escapism involving Dolly. And I mean that's really beautifully done, and I think that's a very creative way of doing it. I saw the Tina Turner musical here in London, and that was, I mean, I don't know if that really counts as a jukebox musical because it is about her life,
A
but
lot.
the way they incorporated the songs, it didn't really have a direct correlation with what they were to her when she recorded them or anything like that.
Yeah. I went to
Have
see,
you seen?
I had a free ticket once to go and see, was it The Bodyguard?
Oh yeah, I remember
And
when
it,
you
and
went
it,
to that.
and it had all of the music, because obviously The Bodyguard has music in it, but I think there are only about three Whitney Houston songs,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So this musical had all other Whitney Houston songs
yeah,
from her career somehow woven into the story of The Bodyguard.
yeah,
So it
yeah,
was a bit naff. It was a bit silly. And then
yeah.
obviously the big finale is I Will Always Love You, which, is quite somber. But then to make people leave happy, they come
Mm-hmm.
out and reprise I Want to Dance with Somebody and get all the drungos in the audience up dancing and clapping.
Drum
And
guys. Yeah.
oh my, so it was really,
That's it. Like, and it's that's it. Like, it feels like so many of these productions that we've talked about, like that, like like this Sea Chicks one or the Chicks one that we haven't seen yet, but or the Jurassic World franchise. They don't come from a place of artistic inspiration.
no,
They
no.
come from a place. They come from capitalism,
Yeah,
and
cash
they
in.
are there purely to cash in on something or someone.
And it's cashing in on nostalgia.
Yeah,
There was the Spice Girls one in the West End for a while that
yeah, that didn't do well, did it?
no, it bombed. There was a Take That one. I think it
Oh
was
yeah.
called Beautiful Day I can't remember. One that looks horrendous, but I really want to see it. Is there's a jukebox musical featuring the music of Steps,
Oh
and it
yeah,
looked
yeah.
so camp and hilarious. And I think it's about like a group of friends who work in a supermarket or something, and it's
Okay.
like telling their story through the music of
Um,
Steps. And
wasn't there also one? I don't know if it's happened or if it's hasn't opened yet. Wasn't there one based around the music of Stock Aitken and Waterman?
yes, yeah, there was one. And I think on the opening night, I think they had a video message from Kylie to
Okay.
broadcast on the screen inside the theater. Um, yeah, I think it is really the lowest common denominator type of.
It's for drongos, you might say.
It is for drongos. And talking of maybe we can pivot then. Talking of blockbuster movies, I don't know if this movie was a massive blockbuster when it came out. I remember it being a hit, but 40 years ago, The Goonies came out.
Wow.
So,
1985. Yeah.
so I went. Yeah, Hill and I went to see it at the cinema the other day. So often when there's like a anniversary of a big film,
Hmm.
they'll show it for one day only or a couple of days in a row. I think in
Yeah.
Mexico, I went to see like maybe some of the old like Batman movies. Do you remember the
Yeah.
original? Not the original Batman, but the one from Tim Burton with the Prince
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
So because it's the 40th anniversary of the Goonies, it was at View Cinemas, that cinema chain here. So we went up to the one in Islington
Hmm.
to see it, and it was quite emotional. Like I
Hmm.
cried at the end of it, and
Oh, really?
but not so much for the storyline, but just it was so evocative of a time period. Like, so 40 years ago, I was 11.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think back to what emotions I must have been feeling when I was 11, watching that movie, which I have seen since, but
Mm-hmm.
watching it and being immersed in it must have, triggered or unlocked feelings. And I felt quite emotional watching it. I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. But one of the most shocking things to me was for a child, like a kid's film, and I mean, it really was a kid's film. It wasn't
Oh, yeah.
aimed at adults when it
Yeah,
came
yeah.
out.
No,
All of the kids swearing in
I
it.
know. It's incredible, isn't it, how much swearing there was? It was kind of, and then I feel like later in the 80s, well, we were talking last week about uh, Don't Tell Mum the Babysitter's Dead.
Yeah,
And I rewatched that a few years ago, I think. Maybe it was during lockdown or something. I rewatched that. And I mean, again, there was a lot of swearing, but also like it was horrible because they used like a homophobic slur in it, and it wasn't directed at somebody who was queer or perceived to be queer. It was just like, oh, don't be a FAG or whatever. And I was just
yeah.
like, my god, like it was such a different time.
It's always such a
Um,
shock when you watch movies from the 80s and the early
yeah.
90s.
Oh, Stand by Me. I watched when I was in Philadelphia last with my nieces. We watched Stand by Me, which was I think earlier than the Goonies, wasn't it? It was like early 80s, Stand By Me,
Oh,
like
probably
82, 83.
around the same time, I would say.
And yeah, again, like the FAG word. And I was just like, oh my God, it was a different time.
The amount of people in the Goonies, though, that went on
Oh, I
to
know.
be famous. I mean, it's
I
incredible.
know.
I mean, Corey, Martha,
Yeah, Josh Brolin. I mean,
Josh
all of
Brolin,
the kids,
Sean
really.
Astin.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's the guy who plays Data?
Uh,
Um,
what's his last name? Starts with H. K Hyun, I think. And I mean, he just won an Oscar, didn't he? Like 2 years ago?
did he win an Oscar for
Um,
that movie?
I think so.
Or was
Yeah,
that
for
Everything
every.
Everywhere All at Once?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Um,
But
yeah, like
how
yeah, Corey
how how
Feldman, and
racist of us that we can't remember the non-white kid's name,
I
and we can
know, I
remember all
know,
the other.
such Anglo privilege. I think it was K
Um,
Hyun, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
um, K Y Kwan.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Apologies.
Um, but like the movie is a little bit naff in places, but
Oh,
it is
yeah.
such a classic, and it's so evocative. Like, it's so emotionally loaded because of the atmospheric setting, like the beautiful
Hmm.
town that it's set in, the
Yeah.
coastline. The kids. Um, I don't know. Like, I spoke about this last week as well when we were talking about Malcolm Jamal Warner, who
Hmm.
played Theo Huxtable, and Silver Spoons,
Hmm.
and just the feeling that I had when I was a kid and I saw other kids in movies where they looked like they were having a better time than me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the bit where I don't know, actually, here's another kid. I can't remember who the actor was, but the kid that played Chunk,
Oh,
I don't know that
oh,
actor's
what was
name,
his name? Yeah.
but it's so
So,
sad that he becomes so emotionally attached to that,
well,
the disfigured
watching it in
person.
recent years, there's a weird sort of like sexual undertone going on there. Like
Well,
when he's like, "Come live with me," and "I love
but
you,
he
Chunk,"
also
and
he kisses him on the mouth.
yeah, it's a bit odd,
And
right?
also when he's escaping from the cave, he's like pressed up against his groin. He's
I
like
know, I know.
right
It's a
in the
very, very
like
odd.
really pressed up against his groin. And then yeah, and then when he says, "Oh, you're going to come and live with me now. I love
I
you."
know, I know. It's
It's very
so
strange. But
strange.
it also speaks to that sadness if you're like a kid with abandonment issues and um attachment issues. It really really speaks to that part of you as an injured
Yeah,
child.
yeah,
Um, but just seeing people like Sean Astin and Josh Brolin, who you now know as adults,
yeah,
it's so weird
yeah.
seeing their little kid faces because
I
you keep
know, I
thinking, I
know.
know what that person looks like as an old man.
I think I
Or
watched it with my nieces, like, I don't know, about when was Sean Astin in Stranger Things? Because my nieces loved Stranger Things,
Yeah, a couple of years
and he
ago.
was what was this character in that, Bob, and I remember showing them the Goonies, and I was like, "That's the actor who plays Bob," and they were like, "What?" Like they just couldn't reconcile present day or then present day Sean Astin with this little kid, like.
I love Sean Astin. Like,
Yeah, he was
I
great. He
really,
was so good in Stranger Things as well. Like,
oh, I was so sad when his character was no longer in.
hmm
Spoiler alert, but yeah, I love him. Corey Feldman to me is a legend. Like, I
yeah,
know that he's a bit of an outsider and a bit of a weirdo,
yeah,
but
yeah,
he has been in some of my all-time favorite movies.
yeah.
Like him in The
Like
Lost
what?
Boys.
What? Oh yeah.
I mean, Lost Boys is really, honestly, one of the best. It's so hilariously camp and funny,
hmm
and once again, that outsider kid, um, vibe. It's
Yep. Yep.
I loved it
Do you
so
know
much.
what really one of the like emotional takeaways or one of the scenes I think it is in the Goonies which resonated with me so much as a kid was that older brother dynamic between what are the characters' names like between Sean Astin and Josh Brolin.
Yes,
Because I don't know, I suppose because you project, don't you? Project what's going on in your life, and then my brother there was a similar age gap between me and my brother, and like they were fighting a lot of the time in the film. Like there was a lot of you know jostling and whatever between the brothers. But there was that one scene near the beginning before the sort of adventure starts when they're sort of out, and I remember I don't remember where I saw this or read this, but there was like a commentary by Steven Spielberg about that scene, and they're on the veranda of the house, and it's like
yes,
kind of raining, and they're sad, and then like I think Josh Brolin character comes out, and then Sean Astin sort of runs and hugs him, and it's
yes,
really sad. And it's just melancholy, and
yeah,
it's really once you know it, and once you've been told it, it's so obvious. But there's like all these autumn leaves falling from above, and like I remember Steven Spielberg saying we literally had someone with a box of leaves just like out of shot, like turning upside down. And once you know it, it's so obvious because this massive like bunch of leaves suddenly come down. But it's so well done.
how wonderfully weird was the Cyndi Lauper tie-in as well.
Oh my god, I
So
know,
for
I know.
people who
What
don't
one of
know,
my favorite Cindy songs ever.
yeah, Cindy had a song called Goonies Good Enough, in parentheses,
hmm
and it was a tie-in to the movie. I mean, it was written specifically, obviously, because she's referencing Goonies. And in the movie, they have it playing on the TV where the kids are in the
They
house
had her Cindy on TV
on
singing it.
TV singing the song.
Yeah,
And then the music video that was released, it was a two-part music video. And Cindy's going through all these hijinks, a similar storyline of having to pay off greedy developers
and a lot of it was filmed on the set.
on the set
So
as they
yeah,
were filming the movie. And so the kids from the Goonies are playing themselves in the music video with Cyndi
yeah,
Lauper.
yeah.
And also around that time, Cyndi Lauper was involved in the WWF
Well, it's WWF back then,
at the
wasn't it?
time, which
Yeah,
became
yeah,
WWE, and where
yeah.
she played in real life, inverted commas, she played a wrestling manager for a woman wrestler, and she also would sometimes climb in the ring and fight people, and
It
she'd go
was
down and do those.
wild.
If you look for these videos on YouTube, Cyndi Lauper wrestling, and she's doing press conferences where she's shouting at people, Johnny, you just don't understand, with her New York accent.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
like, we're here, we're going to win, we're doing the best job. And it was so hilarious. So she was like the biggest pop star in the world, maybe tied with Madonna.
Mm.
And she got fully involved, immersed in this wrestling world. And then she had this song from the Goonies. And then she would have some of the wrestlers in her music videos.
Yeah, yeah. In
Oh,
the Goonies one, and in the Girls Just Want to Have Fun, and
and then
yeah,
in that Goonies music video, if you look carefully, the Bangles
I know it's wild. That whole
are
thing, but
in
it's like a
it dancing
two-part
on
video,
them.
isn't it? There's like the video, and
Yeah.
there's like the extended video or something.
Yeah, well,
It's
the first part of the video, she's on that rope bridge, and there are like pirates and ghost pirates on either side
Yeah.
chasing her, and then she says, um, Steven Spielberg, how am I gonna get out of this one? Like to the
Yeah.
camera, and then
Yeah.
all this
Yeah.
water starts rushing down, and then it
Yeah.
cuts to Steven Spielberg sitting in a studio in front of an editing suite.
That's
And he
right.
looks to the camera and he says, "Well, I don't know." And then it comes back, and then I don't know. The second story, like, and the storyline of the music video is they find some jewels or something, and then they pay off the evil property developers who are all evil villains from the WWF world,
It's hilarious.
like
It's very funny.
Roddy Piper, Roddy Piper, whatever his name is, and
Yeah.
the Sheikh, the one who was from Iran or something.
Yeah. I know.
Oh my
So
God, so camp. I mean, the WWF and the WWE is hugely problematic. Have you seen
no.
the documentary about Vince McMahon, who
No.
was the founder? And I mean, he partially thieved the business of other people, and he really monopolized and shut down a lot of local promotional businesses around the country and took them
Really.
over. But there's all this documentaries like blows the lid off on all the sexual assault and that how he sexually assaulted people and
Really.
abused people and ripped people off. I mean, it's just outrageous. And so it's hugely problematic. But obviously people are too much of a fan of it now to sort of turn their back on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as big as it was in like the 80s, is it?
It's
It's
pretty big. I
is
mean,
it?
I went to see it in Mexico. Did you go?
Yeah, no, I didn't go. No. I
Yeah.
was at Madison Square Garden seeing the Killers.
My God, you know that didn't happen.
Oh, I know I'm going to prove that it happened.
How
Like I
are you going
know.
to prove that?
I don't know. I'll find a way. I'll find that old blog. I'll find some cached copy of your MySpace blog online.
I bet that you had a dream that it happened, and that you
I
think,
I know that it happened. Like,
okay,
my
there's
memory is not great.
absolutely
I don't
no.
remember much, but I do remember that.
So, what other old movies from the 80s would you like to see brought back to the cinema? I mean, you don't really like going to the
Well,
cinema, or
that's
you
the
do?
other thing I was going to say because it kind of ties into the Goonies and what we were saying earlier. Is because over the years there's been so many rumors about a Goonies sequel, and every time it just sort of never goes anywhere. And I think most of the people involved, the actors, I mean, not all the crew are still around. Obviously, not all the cast are still around, sadly. But they kind of say, well, we can't find a way of doing a sequel to this. It was just one story and it was perfect, really.
Yeah.
And it's kind of nice that they haven't ruined it by doing some shitty, second-rate sequel, which again would exist only to make money. Like it wouldn't come from an artistic place.
Or it might come from a place of affection for the people who are involved with it. So a lot of those
Yeah.
actors, when they were kids, they might think, yeah, I would go and do that because I know that it's a special thing, and there might be a feeling of doing something special for fans of the movie. But yeah, it would only get made if somebody saw money in it.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That's why it would happen.
Exactly.
But I don't want to sound mean about this, but I can't see. I know I love Corey Feldman. Like he is one of my pop culture heroes. Like I love him. I can't see him acting in a mainstream movie with how unusual he is now and how outside of the mainstream he exists and the way
I
he
think he could still
dresses.
do it. I think if they got the right script, the right dynamic, the right role, I suppose for him, I think they could do
But
it.
you
But
know
I
how
don't
he
think
like
Chunk. I
how
don't
he
think.
dresses. You know how Corey Feldman like in his regular life now dresses like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Like I just don't know if he would be able to shake that off to play that character or any character other than Corey Feldman.
Yeah, but his character in the Goonies was kind of like a weird kind of kid anyway, So yeah, but I was going to say, but the guy who played Chunk, whose name is it Lawrence?
Can't remember.
Anyway, whatever his name was, he's not an actor anymore. He's a lawyer. So I don't know if they would be able to get him back anyway.
Well, it's like there's a new Malcolm in the Middle reboot.
What? No, I didn't know that.
And they've got everybody except the kid who played Dewey, the youngest,
really?
because when he after the show, he just left and was like, "No, I'm not interested in being famous or acting." He said it's not for me.
All
And I
right.
saw an
Okay.
interview with Frankie Muniz, and he was asked about it, and he said, "Yeah, I've got nothing but respect for him and love. It's not acrimonious. Like, he doesn't want to come back." As somebody who went through the child star machine, I completely understand why somebody wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if it's started or if it's filming, but it's definitely in production.
And
And
so is it like, Bryan Cranston
Cranston,
and
yeah,
what's the woman who played the mum? She was amazing. She was so good.
yeah, I can't remember her name, but
Oh,
that
um,
I can't even remember the character's name.
uh,
But
F- uh, Lois,
yeah,
Francis, Lois.
Lois Francis was the
That's
son,
the son. Yeah, yeah.
who his weird brother is in prison. You know, that whole thing.
No,
You know, the guy who played Francis,
yeah.
his brother is the one from that '70s show who
Oh, I didn't know they
is
were brothers.
yeah, and
Oh,
who's in
wow.
prison for
Okay.
rape and is
Ah,
like they're all raging Scientologists.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
he's apparently in the show as well again, the brother. And I think everybody else is in it except the kid who played Dewey. And
Wow.
it, it's a weird thing to bring back. I mean, you were talking about the Roseanne, the Connors, and
Yeah.
how they brought that back. And I suppose that worked because after they fired her, they kind of changed the whole purpose of the show. But something like Malcolm in the Middle, it was so dependent on the dysfunction of that family in that house
Hmm.
and the dynamic between the kids and the adults. Like, I
Yeah.
wonder how they make that work when all the kids are adults
Well,
now.
I'll have to have, a new generation. I'll have to have the kids, that will be the grandkids, right? Unless they completely pivot, I mean, it. I've been rewatching, I should say, some of the Better Call Saul. I know you never watched Breaking Bad or Better Call
No,
Saul, but that is a spin-off that, in many ways, is I wouldn't say it's better than Breaking Bad, but they departed to such a degree that it works so incredibly well. You never feel like it's substandard. You never feel like it sort of takes second place to Breaking Bad. Like, it really
yeah,
holds its own, and that's
yeah.
quite unusual for a spin-off to do that. Um,
I
but
but talking about old movies being shown, I'm
mm,
on Saturday night. I'm going to that new cinema that's near me in Farringdon, the Nickel Cinema, that
oh,
sort of
right,
grindhouse
yeah,
cinema, underground cinema, and they're showing. Thank God it's Friday. That
don't know that
old
one.
disco movie, um, like Terry Nunn is in it, Jeff Goldblum's in it, Donna Summer. It's like set in a nightclub or something in the '70s, and like there's
Okay,
all these up and coming, maybe the Commodores and Donna Summer. I remember seeing it when I was a kid, and it was just a real classic disco movie. And it's like,
what's it called again?
thank God it's Friday.
No, okay,
And so yeah, I'm going to see that at the cinema.
nice.
On I'm very excited about that. I love that sort of shit, like just
Is
old camp movies.
you haven't been yet to that new queer cinema in Bermondsey?
No,
No, me neither. I keep
what's it
thinking,
called?
oh, I can't remember. In London is so tough though. I really do feel, especially where I am, where you are, you're quite well connected, but like I'm out in the burbs, and it's just such an arse to get like from here into like. I mean, Bermondsey is not exactly far away from central London, but it's
Yeah.
not central, so it's just such a
Well,
pain.
I have to go to an event after we record this,
Mm,
and it's going to take me, if I hit the bus ride, it's going to take me 45 minutes. And
yeah,
that's on the same side of town as me. Like
yeah, yeah,
it's such a nightmare to get around London. You
yeah.
have to really want to go somewhere, or you have to need to go somewhere to
I
go out.
know. Tomorrow. I'm going to the Tate Modern to see finally, like months and months after it opened. I'm going to see the Lee Bowery exhibition,
Did you
which
see the
I'm.
photos of Madonna was at it a few days ago?
Oh, really?
Because
No,
she's in London living at the moment.
no, I didn't know that.
She's recording like an album, like her new album, and she's in the recording studio with maybe Stuart Price, that producer,
Oh, right.
songwriter.
Yeah.
So you know one of her biggest albums was Confessions on the Dance Floor. or of or on. I can't
I was
remember.
going to say, I think it's of, isn't it? Well, I don't know. It would make more
On.
sense to be on on a dance floor, wouldn't it? Anyway,
I think she's doing like a concept that where it's part two of that because I suppose she's had so many flop albums since then. I think she's trying to go back to a sound that worked and was popular.
okay.
And so I think they're in the studio together trying to make part two of that. And so she's doing a lot of things in London, and she posted a lot of photos the other day of her at the Lee Bowery exhibition.
I saw, I talk about it a lot on here about, when I go to my search box on Instagram, like the stuff that the stuff that the algorithm throws up. And yesterday, I saw a video. It was when Madonna was inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it was it Iggy Pop? Yeah,
Yeah,
it was Iggy
yeah.
Pop doing this like
Like a Virgin.
interpretation of no, it was a Ray of Light, and it was so
I
awful.
thought he sang Like a Virgin. Maybe he
Well,
sang two songs.
the caption underneath said Iggy Pop did Ray of Light and Burning Up, but the video I saw, it was only Ray of Light,
Oh, okay.
and it was. I mean, it's not the nicest song to hear anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just
What, Ray
like,
of Light?
yeah, it's very sort of like falsetto-y at
Do you
points, and
remember
like,
when Madonna performed it at that Music Awards with Lenny Kravitz? And
yeah, it's
screeching, the absolute
yeah.
screeching of it, screaming.
So Iggy Pop, is doing his interpretation of it, and like Madonna, there's like this shot of Madonna in the audience just being like, "Oh, like what on earth?" Like it was just
Oh, she would have thought it was punk rock, and she was cool that
maybe,
a punk rocker was doing her song. And
yeah, maybe.
um, I I I like going to the Tate, but once again, I have to really commit to going anyway in
Oh yeah,
London.
that's what made me think of it, because yeah, like it's just a pain to get to from here. Um, but it's worth it. I don't want to be accused of moaning or being negative on the podcast or anything.
Before we wrap up, could we just talk briefly, because
Mm-hmm.
we've only got a few minutes, but obviously with the genocide going on in Gaza, it is beyond nightmare scenario. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's pointless us even trying to
Yeah,
describe.
words can't really do justice to the situation. No.
Is there any way that anybody listening to this, who we might encourage them to stand up or use their voice or um, anything at all? I mean, I just, it feels so helpless, doesn't it? Because the
It
government
does. It does.
don't feel like they're budging really at all.
Yeah.
I read
And
a blog post the other day on my Fat Gay Vegan blog where I just said to people, oh, here's the link where you can write to your MP.
mm-hmm.
And if the very, very, the smallest act of resistance you do is write to your MP and say, as a voter, I want the UK to stop selling arms components to
Mm-hmm.
Israel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that feels like a pin in the ocean, right? In a haystack. Drop in
Yeah.
the ocean is the saying.
Yeah.
Um, but I was like, when you're feeling this helpless and hopeless about something, I suppose it's better to do something.
Yeah. At the very least, we could stop selling arms. I mean, yeah, it's hard to know what to do, isn't it? Like, you can feel outraged, you can feel angry, you can feel um, despair, but how can you translate that? And there are lists online. I could put one in the show notes maybe, but there are lists online of companies to avoid or boycott because they support the
Yeah, so
state of Israel.
if you look up BDS,
Mm.
and you can see all of they drill down into like different organizations and banks and
Mm-hmm.
businesses and supermarkets. And
Mm-hmm.
if you want to put your money into companies that do not send any money to Israel or support the
Mm-hmm.
state of Israel in any way, um,
Mm.
I mean, you can shop at the co-op now. Do you saw that the co-op members voted against stocking any products from Israel?
Oh, I didn't know.
So the
That's good to
co-op
know.
is a supermarket chain, amongst other things. But the supermarket chain, the members are made up of customers who I don't know, you buy into
Well,
being a
it's a
member.
co-op, like by
Co-op,
name, by
but
nature. Yeah.
it's a big supermarket chain, like one of the
Mm.
biggest supermarket chains, and they voted that the members voted overwhelmingly to not stock any products from Israel, made or
Wow.
owned by Israeli companies, and that's in effect now. So
Okay.
if
And
you
yeah, and just to as a point of clarification, because I feel like, around all the discourse around Gaza, and any criticism of Israel is so often misconstrued
or
or
conflated,
conflated, yeah, or deliberately, done in a deliberate way with anti-Semitism, and
yeah,
it's it. I don't feel like we should have to justify our words or that we should have to explain it, but I suppose I do think it's worth noting, just in case we have any listeners or viewers who do think that, it's absolutely not.
well, people are drongos, Sue.
Well, so it's absolutely not an anti-Semitic thing to be critical of the Israeli military response, and annexation and genocide
I
that's
mean,
happening. I
like
mean,
wholesale destruction of an
yeah,
entire population.
yeah, it's yeah, it's hard to find words to describe the despair you feel as an outsider looking in at that situation. But we can't be accused of anti-Semitism,
Well,
by
we
we
can
can
be.
be, but
We probably
wrongfully
will be.
wrongfully so. Like I don't. Anyway.
I
So
mean, Bob the drag queen was telling a story on their podcast the other day where they were invited by I don't know, a Broadway producer or somebody who was putting on a benefit or a live show, and they were asking Bob to come and be one of the hosts. And they said, "Oh, if you know any other comedians or drag queens who would like to come along, put them in touch with me. But just be careful who you pick. We don't want anyone, speaking up for Gaza." And Bob was like, "What the fuck? Like, why not?" And then this person started on with all of this anti-Palestinian stuff, and Bob was just like, "Well, me and every single person I know who I would invite is pro Gaza and pro Palestinian, and
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, good luck
yeah,
with your search trying to
and
find someone who's not."
and it's just such a fucking useless, divisive, um, thing to sort of to talk in that sort of binary thing, like you're either pro-Israel or you're pro-Gaza, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
that's the problem here. Like the only solution really is a two-state solution, and it's so what's the word? Like it's so oh sorry, my brain's not working.
Well, also, I mean, to even simplify it further, the only solution to genocide is to not genocide people. The only solution to killing tens of thousands of people is to stop killing them. So before you even get to the point of, oh well, two state solution, because that complicates things to a level where people think this is too hard, let's not even bother. They need to stop killing people straight away. That's it. That's the first step. That's the solution to the genocide, is for them
mm,
to let aid in, to let stop bombing entire buildings and neighborhoods and hospitals to dust, to stop starving people to
there's
death.
not really much left to bomb.
No, to
It's
stop shooting people in the back while they're lining up for food and
yeah,
medicine.
stop
So
starving people. Yeah.
yeah, so they need to stop that. Like that's it. Whatever they do in 5 years or 10 years or however that develops, yeah, great. That's an ongoing conversation. But the solution now is Israel at any cost
Mm.
needs to stop. And I don't know how people are going to get it through their brains or governments are going to understand it's unfucking believable that it's happening. Like it's so outrageous that it's
I know,
happening.
I know, I know, and it's. I suppose if what would be like the three things that you can do then, if you were going to say to somebody who feels hopeless or overwhelmed by the situation, what would you say are the three things that they could do to
Well,
to?
I
Oh,
I
you've
think
got a
on my
fly.
blog, yeah,
It's a fly episode.
it's a car wash, ladies and gentlemen. I I put on my blog that I think people should write to their MP if
Hmm.
they're in the UK or wherever, write to local politicians or government politicians to say, um, I am a voter, and this is the most important topic to me at the moment, and I'll remember this at the next election. Just blatantly tell them this is what I want to do. Just Google that. How do I write to my MP? The first link will come up. You put in your postcode where you're registered to vote, and every country has something similar. So wherever you're listening to this, you can do this. I would stop spending money. I would partake in the cultural and financial boycott of Israel. I think that's a completely fine thing to do. And I would also, if you have money to spare, I would look up organizations that are helping Israel and see if you can give some money to, people who are giving medical aid or other sorts of aid and mental health support to people who are suffering and trapped. They're the three things that I would do. And you can do one of them, all of them. You can do them continually. You can do them once. But if everybody just did something, it's got to make a difference. And I think also for our own sanity and our own, how could we sit here making this podcast or writing a vegan blog or running the open mic? How can we go on like life is normal when tens of thousands of children are being starved to death in an open air concentration camp and being shot in the back while they're lining up for aid? And it's just fucking outrageous. And also it's being done in our name in a way, because the tax money that we pay to the UK government is in part funding the arms that Israel is using to kill these people. So we have a responsibility to speak up about it.
Yeah. I'm going to pivot away, but just because you mentioned the open mic, I just want to mention it here, and we'll probably talk about this in next week's episode and the one after that and the one after that. But we're coming up to the 3-year anniversary of the Queer Open Mic. So yeah, in August of 2022, Sean and I started a Queer Open Mic in London, partly because I was moaning to him. I was like, it's really hard as a queer musician or artist to go into to get a space to perform that feels safe as a queer person, especially if your art, in my case my music, talks directly about relationships with men or feelings towards men and stuff like that. It can be very intimidating, and I'm a cis male, I'm white. I can still feel intimidated going into a mainstream open mic and doing that and talking about or singing my songs. I mean, it's nerve-wracking at times to get up and perform anyway, no matter who you are or what you're singing about, but to add that extra layer in. So anyway, we created an open mic, and I think we had maybe 7 people at the first one. It was in the top floor of a pub. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And it was it was a real it felt like, oh shit, what are we going to do if it's like this every month? It's not going to work, sort of thing. And anyway, over the years, well, Sean, you can jump in at any point. I don't want to be accused of talking too much.
We moved it to the basement of a vegan pizza restaurant called Purezza, who very kindly hosted us for a while. And then we moved it to the Cock Tavern, which is a gay pub in Kennington in South London, where we currently host it. And it's growing in popularity. We get regulars. We get new people every month. We have a real mix of performers. And I'll let you interpret that
how you
any
will,
way you want. And we get, I don't know, maybe sometimes 30 people, sometimes 40. We get people who come along just to watch. It's wonderful. And so having the 3rd anniversary of this event feels special. It's a real community event. It supports queer people who are looking for a space to come together and be creative. And we're going to have, I don't know, some prizes to give away on that night. We're going to celebrate like it's a birthday party for the event.
Yeah. So if you're in London and listening or watching to this, do come along and join us. It's on the 31st of August, which is it's always the last Sunday of the month. If you're not in London, come to London for the day and see us. It's going to be a really fun event. We're going to have, like Sean said, prizes. I think we might have, I don't know, can I say? I think we can have vegan cupcakes to give away and stuff like that.
Try.
So yeah. So it will be fun, and it's really lovely to celebrate 3 years. We've had some incredible moments, at the open mic, and we've had so many Seeing so many people come and go and stuff like that. So it's a really fun event, and
also if you can't come to the London one, think of starting your own grassroots event similar in your part of the world, whether that's an open mic, whether that's a meetup or a social. I mean, these sorts of events are so crucial for people, especially in a world where I think next week we might be talking a bit about AI and the disconnect and the isolation that people feel in a modern world. And so this event and events like it go a long way to making people feel connected and to build social capital and build community. So yeah, if you can't come along to our events, start your own.
Start your own, absolutely. All right, well let's wrap up there. I'll obviously have links to all of this stuff in the show notes. But in the meantime, if you want to find out what I'm up to, I'm on Instagram at Josh and the Jumpstarts. You can find my music on Spotify as well. I'm still waiting for my £7 paycheck from Spotify, but if you want to go and stream my songs a few more times so I can get a few more 0.002 pence out of them, I would appreciate that very much. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at FatKVegan or TikTok. It's the same content. And you can go to fatkvegan.com to look for the events that I'm hosting and the reviews that I post there. And like Josh was mentioning, you're either listening to and watching this on YouTube or Spotify, or listening on Apple Podcasts. So just to let you know, it is available also as a podcast on all of those platforms. And we would appreciate any sort of review, liking, bookmarking, thumbs upping, whatever it is that platform has for you to recognize us.
Comments
or
are
follow us.
Great. Comments are really good.
It would be really nice,
even if they're antagonistic, and it's always good to have feedback. So yeah, please do
feed the algorithm.
Feed the algorithms. And I think to take us out on a high, I think Sean, you're going to perform Mr. Brightside for us now, aren't you?
Yeah, for all the drungos on the floor at the Boondall Entertainment Centre
at Madison Square Garden. Mm-hmm.
Didn't happen.
All right, folks. Well, the proof will be revealed next week, and until then, take care of each other and yourselves, and we'll see you then. So did happen.
It really didn't. I think
it fucking did.